Welcome to my course on local SEO. I'm Gary Scholes. I'm the founder of 3Bug Media, and for the past 10 years, we've been helping hundreds and hundreds of small business owners get better results with their local marketing. In this course, I'm going to teach you local SEO in an hour. While there are lots and lots of different factors that make up local SEO, most of them only move the needle a little bit as far as results. We're going to focus on the few activities that you should be doing every month that are going to move the needle a lot. And the great thing about this is that everything I'm going to teach you in this course, you can do yourself, and it's only going to take a few hours a month. You don't need any expensive subscription plans. You don't need any marketing experts. Everything I'm going to teach you, you can do all by yourself. Now, before we get started, let's just review what's the difference between SEO and local SEO. Well, traditional search engine optimization, SEO, is when you're trying to rank your website. More specifically, you're trying to rank a specific page on your website for a specific keyword. That's traditional SEO, and that's how the type of SEO that most of us, have come to know. Now, local SEO is different. It's not only trying to do SEO for a smaller local area, it's actually a totally different strategy than traditional SEO. Because with local SEO, you're not trying to rank just your website, you're trying to rank your business entity. And that business entity is across different properties on the web. That can be your website, your Google My Business listing, as well as various third-party review sites and directories. So you can see local SEO can actually be a little more complex than traditional SEO. Now, for the purposes of this course, we're going to break it down into 4 key things: your Google My Business listing, your website, online reviews, and citations. So we're going to cover each of these in separate videos in this course, and by the end of this course, you'll have a solid foundation on how to do your own local SEO. So let's get started and jump right in. So let's talk about Google My Business. Google My Business is a free listing from Google that helps local business owners get a better local presence online. Now, why is it so important? Number one, your Google My Business listing, it's what's going to show up at the top of the local search results or the map results. If you've ever done a search in Google and you see a map at the top of the search results with local businesses, that's actually not your website, that's your Google My Business listing showing up, and it also shows up above the organic search results. Number two, your Google My Business listing usually gets more visits and more views than your website. Google's made a lot of enhancements over the years to the Google My Business listing, and because of that, users a lot of times don't need to go to your website to get the information they need. They can look at online reviews, look at pictures, get directions, make phone calls, and depending on your business, can make reservations, book appointments directly from the listing without going to your website. Number three, Google reviews. Google reviews are most likely, in most cases, the most important online reviews you can get for your local business. Reason being is most people turn to Google when they're searching for a local business, and Google reviews are the first set of reviews they're going to see. The second benefit of Google reviews is that they have a direct impact on your Google My Business listing. So the more reviews you get, the more positive reviews you get, the more you respond to reviews, those things are going to have an impact on how well your Google My Business listing shows up in the local search results. So when it comes to your Google My Business listing, we're going to cover a few important things. Number one is information, having a consistent NAP and making sure your category is correct. Now, your NAP is your name, address, and phone number. You want to make sure that that information is exactly the same in your Google My Business listing as it is on your website, as well as any third-party review sites or directories where you're listed. We also want to make sure that we're in the right business category, which we're going to go over. We're also going to cover reviews. Reviews are super important for local SEO. We're actually going to dedicate quite a bit more time on reviews. Images in your Google My Business listing are super important, as well as posts. Posts is a relatively new feature in Google My Business, and it kind of acts like a Facebook post. So if you have a new announcement, new product, new team member, new sale, things like that, you can use your Google My Business listing to post about these things so people can see them. Now, the great thing with your Google My Business listing is It's pretty simple. Once you've gone through it a few times, it's not overly complicated to kind of make changes to and to maintain. And really, once you've kind of made your initial optimizations to the listing, you're really only going to need about an hour a month to dedicate to your Google My Business listing. And really what's going to happen with this is you're going to spend your time responding to reviews, uploading new images, creating new posts for your business, things like that, and just checking to make sure that your information's correct. Okay, so let's jump in and take a look at what these look like. So let's take a look at our Google My Business listing and see where we should be spending our time to get the most bang for our buck when it comes to local SEO. Before we start, I want to show you what it looks like in the Google search results in case you're not 100% familiar. Now, if somebody Googles your business name, they're going to get a result that looks like this. On the right-hand side, this is your Google My Business listing right here. It has your pictures, name, reviews, name, address, phone number, things like that. This is what your Google My Business listing is going to look like for your individual business. Okay, the other way it can be displayed is if somebody searches in Google for your type of business. So say you're a dentist, they do a search, and this is what we call a local search result or a map result, because you can see the local map here with some local businesses, and they sit above the organic search results. Okay, and you'll see that the first 3 businesses in Google My Business show up at the top, which is why it's super important to try to get in those top 3 results. Okay, if somebody wants to see more, they can either click on the map or they can click on more places, and it'll open up the full local listing here. And now you'll see a lot more businesses available. Okay, so let's jump into the dashboard and see what it looks like. Now, depending on your industry or country, your dashboard is going to look a little bit different. Some industries have some features, some don't. But by and large, it's going to look something like this. Okay, we want to look at a few specific areas in here. Number one, we want to look at the info panel. And here we want to make sure our business name's correct, our name, address, phone number, our website is all accurate. They recently added the option to add business description, so make sure you add a nice business description to your listing. You can add your hours, things like that. So it's a good idea on a weekly basis just to spend 5 minutes and just double check that everything's accurate in here. Okay, so it should only take you a couple minutes. One thing you definitely want to make sure you look at are your categories. Okay, Google lets you select a primary category and add additional categories. Okay, and you can add several additional categories, but just be aware, make sure that you select categories that are relevant to your business. If you start going too deep and start picking non-relevant categories and your listing shows up and people aren't clicking on you, it can actually hurt the performance of your listing overall. So only pick categories that are relevant to your business. If you're not exactly sure what categories you should be picking, I'll show you an easy way to get some ideas. So say you're a dentist and you want to see what category you should be in. So just do a search for dentists in your area, and you can take a look at the top listings that are showing up. And if you look right here, you'll see it. Google displays the primary category for that business. So here it's dentist, 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 dentist. Most are dentists, but if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see here dental clinic is showing up a few times as well. Cosmetic dentistry. And if you scroll down a little bit more, you have pediatric dentistry. So even with something like dentist, there are actually several different categories. So it'll be up to you to do some research and decide which one's going to be your primary and which ones are going to be your secondary categories. Next place we're going to go to are reviews. Now, you should do this same thing on a weekly or monthly basis, depending on how often you get reviews to your Google My Business listing. But reply to reviews. Thank them. Give a thoughtful reply. Google loves it when you interact with your customers, and interacting through reviews is a great way to interact with them. Okay, Google loves it when business owners are very active with their Google My Business listing. So the more you can do, the more you can make updates, things like that, the better it will be for helping you to rank your listing higher. So moving on to photos. Photos are super important for Google My Business. Creates a nice visual, gives a visual representation for potential customers of what your business looks like, get a feel for it, things like that. So you should be doing this at least on a weekly basis, hopefully. Upload some new pictures. You can do them with your phone, inside your business, outside your business, new items, new services or products, things like that. You can see here they're tabbed by owner. Customers can actually upload photos as well. Video has been added as a feature in Google My Business. Currently, you're limited to 30 seconds or less, but same thing, great for new products, services, sales announcements, things like that. But just take some time every week, upload some new pictures. Keep it active. Shows Google that you're very active with your listing. Okay. The other area we're going to look at are posts. Posts are a recent addition to Google My Business, and posts kind of act like Facebook posts. They're not meant to live permanently. They last about 7 days on your listing before they disappear, and they're meant for if you're new product announcements, you got sales going on, new team members, or just new stuff that's going on with your business. This is a great feature, and you can add multiple posts at the same time to go live. And the great thing about Google My Business and posts is that when you post to your listing, every single person who sees your listing will see the post. Unlike Facebook, that highly filters out how many people actually see any one of your posts. With Google My Business, everybody sees your posts. Okay, so once you make a post, if you scroll down your listing, you can see right here what it looks like. And if you have more than one, it'll display two and then turn into a carousel if you have more than two. And if you click on it, you'll see it pops up like here. Okay, and same thing, they only last about 7 days, so you should be updating them every week to make sure that you always have a few posts that are live on your listing. Okay, and just the last thing I want to show you really quickly is just the Insight tab. Insight tab, you should be taking a look every month. It just has your analytics. And if you look here, it'll show you search terms that are people using to find your business, which is fantastic. Could give you some ideas for a new blog post or content on your website. It just give you an insight of what kind of language people are using to find your business. Also tells you how many times you're showing up in search. Branded search is people searching for your business name. Discovery is more like dentists in my area, but they're not looking for any particular one, things like that. So, and same thing with direct. Direct is people kind of already know who you are. They're kind of searching for you by your name, address, or your phone number to find you. You can also see how many times you're showing up in the search results. Also, how many people are clicking through to your website, how many people are asking for directions, how many people are calling from you, calling from the listing each month. So it gives you lots of good insights, and you should be checking this on a monthly basis. So let's talk about online reviews. Not only are online reviews important for local SEO, they're also important for your business in general. The vast majority of people turn to the internet when researching a local business, and reading online reviews is one of the things that will determine if they contact you or not. So the more reviews you have and the more positive reviews you have, the more likely somebody is going to contact you instead of a competitor. So in this section, we're going to answer a couple questions. Number one, what review platforms are important? More specifically, what review platforms are important for your specific business? Like I said earlier, Google reviews most of the time is going to be your most important review platform. Okay, not only is it going to help your Google My Business listing rank higher, but it's usually the first set of reviews people see. But for most businesses, there's at least one more, sometimes two, that are also important for your business. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to find specifically the review platforms that you should be concentrating on for your business. But when it comes to, where to spend your time with online reviews, I suggest you start with Google, especially if you're just starting out getting online reviews. Focus on Google, and once you have a system set up and you're consistent and you're consistently getting reviews for Google, then maybe look at adding one more review platform. I usually don't recommend that you work on more than two at any given time because most businesses just struggle getting online reviews in general, so don't thin it out by trying to get people to go to multiple review platforms. Stick with Google and then possibly add one more once you get some traction with your Google reviews. Number two, how many reviews do I need? And this is a question I get a lot from local businesses. And the answer is, it depends. It really depends on what your competitors have. What you want to do is you want to look at the local search results in Google. You want to look at the top 3 businesses showing up for your category, and you want to look at how many reviews those businesses have. Some industries are a lot more review focused than others. If you're a plumber or a locksmith, you could be looking at literally hundreds of Google reviews. Some other industries like real estate or financial planners, things like that, you may only have 5 or 10 as the average number of reviews for these top businesses showing up. At a bare minimum, you want to be what your competitors are at. So if your top 3 competitors are average 15 or 20 reviews, that should be your starting goal, and that should be your bare minimum, because if you can't keep up with them, then you're going to have a harder time outranking them with your Google My Business listing. Your long-term goal is to double what your competitors have. So if those average top 3 competitors have 15 reviews apiece, your goal, your longer term goal, should to get at least 30 reviews. And that could take you quite a long time, but doing local SEO and online marketing shouldn't be a short-term goal for you. So if you plan on being in business for the next 5, 10, 20 years, then these should be long-term goals for you. When you can double your competitors, what we've found is your conversion rates will skyrocket. So if people are looking and trying to choose between you and a couple of competitors, and you have twice as many reviews and your reviews are overwhelmingly positive, it's almost a no-brainer and easy choice to go with the crowd and choose the popular choice, which is your business with all these reviews. So that should be your long-term goal, but your short-term goal is to get at least what your competitors are getting. Okay, and how do I get more reviews? Now, how the system you use to get reviews really depends on your business. There's lots of different ways to get reviews. You have to do what is going to work for you and what's going to work for your business. But I'm going to give you a couple of tips on how to make the most of that. Number one, ask for reviews one-on-one. I've yet to see a mass email or putting a banner on your website for reviews work in any capacity. Okay, so don't take your whole customer list and blast all of them and ask them for a review, because I can tell you right now, almost nobody is going to leave a review, and chances are pretty decent that you're going to get some lukewarm reviews too, because over time people become less enthusiastic about a business as time passes. Okay, so ask one-on-one. That is your best chance of getting a review, okay? And that can be in the form of in-person, email, a phone call, maybe you do a follow-up after somebody's purchased your product or you've delivered your service. Whatever it is, make sure you set up a system where you ask one-on-one in a personal manner, okay? Number two, timing is key. People are most happy at the time of purchase or consuming your service, and that is where you really want to ask for the review. So if you're, say a day spa and somebody's just left and they're super happy, that is the time where you're going to ask for that review. Because if you wait 2 weeks or you wait 2 months, what's going to happen is they're not going to have the same fond memory of visiting your spa. And even if they do, it's not important to them anymore. They're not thinking about your business anymore. You're not a priority to them anymore. So timing is critical. Make sure you strike while the iron's hot and when people are most happy. Number three, make it easy. So if you're trying to send people to a Google review page, just tell people how to do it. Either you can send them a link, or you can just say, go to Google and type in, our business name or our business name and address, something like that. If you're sending somebody to a different review platform, make sure you figure, you go through that process a few times yourself, write down those steps, and then explain those steps to the person you're asking. Because if they start hitting roadblocks, chances are they're just going to give up and move on. So make it as easy as possible for someone to leave a review for you. Also, be consistent, create a system. It's going to be impossible for you to get reviews over the long term and on a consistent basis if you don't figure out a system on how to do it. So you may be the only one requesting reviews, or maybe you have a team of people you need to train. You need to work with them and figure out what is going to be the best way for us to ask for a review after somebody's made a purchase or consumed our service. And like I said, that can be a phone call, an email, in-person request, whatever it is. Just make sure it's something that's going to work and you're going to be able to do on a consistent basis. Okay. Lastly, incentives. Now, incentives, you have to be careful with them because a lot of review platforms not only discourage incentives, they don't even encourage you to ask for reviews, like Yelp. Yelp doesn't even want you to ask for a review, whereas Google, it's totally fine to ask for a review, but you cannot pay somebody to write your review or ask for a positive review. So you really have to look at the terms of service of each review platform to figure out what's allowed and what's not. When it comes to incentives, my personal experience and my personal opinion is if you're doing all of these, you're asking one-on-one, you're timing it right, you're consistent, you make it easy for people, you'll be able to get reviews regardless if you offer an incentive or not. Okay, so if you're doing these things right, you should be able to get reviews. I highly discourage you to not pay for reviews. Tell people you'll give them a $20 gift card or something like that if they'll write a review for you or ask for a positive review. I highly recommend you do not do that because that is against the terms of service of pretty much every review platform, and the last thing you want to do is get banned or something, or flagged or something like that for that review platform. One thing I've seen businesses do that actually works really well, but it's slightly gray area, so it's up to you to look into this, is to offer a prize or a contest every month. And what you would do is you'll offer, say, a gift card to a local restaurant, and you'll raffle it off for everyone who left a review, say in March. So if 10 people left you a review in March, out of those 10 people, you'll put them in a hat, you'll whatever, pick them at random, and one of those people will get an incentive, will get a gift card to a local restaurant or something like that. I've seen that work really well. And that's kind of a little bit of a gray area because you're not specifically asking people for a review or a positive review. But if you're going to try something like that, I highly recommend you read through the terms of service for each review platform to make sure you're in line. But if I was going to do an incentive or something like that, that's probably something I would do because you're not specifically asking people for a review or a positive review. Okay, so these are the main things that you need to know when it comes to online reviews. And what we're going to do in the next video is I'm going to show you how to identify the specific review platforms that are important for your business. Now, there are hundreds of review platforms out there, but in reality, there's probably only a handful that are actually important or relevant for your business. So I want to show you 3 quick things you can do to find the review platforms that are specifically important for your business. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to search for our own business in Google because we want to see what shows up. Okay, so I'm going to pretend I'm Mr. Reuter in Charlotte here. Okay, and we all know, we talked about this already, Google reviews are probably the most important set of reviews for most businesses, not all, but for most businesses. So we know Google's important. Okay, what we want to look at is if Google's looking at any other review platforms. And how we do that, when we look at our Google My Business listing here, if we scroll down, sometimes you'll see this, reviews from the web. Okay, and what this tells me is Google is actually monitoring other third-party websites for my business, and they're taking those into account for my Google My Business listing. So that can be helping me with my rankings or could be hurting me in my rankings. So Google's pulling in 3 different review platforms right here: Listen 360, Facebook, and Home Advisor. Okay, so right away, those are 3 review platforms that are going to be on my radar. Okay, Listen 360 is a little bit different because Listen 360 is more of an internal review platform
So businesses solicit their customers and leave it on Listen 360. So I'm probably going to rule that one out on there because it's not publicly available to everyone to leave a review for this business, but still good to know that Google's paying attention to it. Okay, so that's the first place I'm going to look. I want to see what Google, what other review platforms Google's using to take into consideration for my business. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the organic search results and see what shows up here. Okay, Listen 360 is showing up. Facebook is showing up again. We have Yelp showing up, so that's a different one that's showing up. And we have Home Advisor again showing up. Okay, so right now Home Advisor is showing up twice. Facebook is showing up twice on there. Listen 360 is showing up. Okay, and Yelp's also showing up on here. So that's the second place we want to look. We want to see, how many times these review platforms are showing up. The third place we're going to look is we're going to do a general search for our industry. And we want to see what review platforms are showing up for people that are doing a discovery search. They're not sure what plumber they want to use, but they're searching for plumbers. Okay, so when I search for plumbers in Charlotte here, we get the local search results. And when I scroll down here, you can see right here, Home Advisor is showing up number 1 in the organic search results. Yelp is showing up number 2. Angie's List showing up as the third one on here. Better Business Bureau, you can technically leave reviews on there. So it looks like Angie's List, Home Advisor, and Yelp are showing up. So that's 3 places I've looked at so far to see how reviews are showing up both for my business specifically and for people that are searching for my type of business in my area. Okay, so after doing that, the conclusion I'm going to come to is Home Advisor is the one for me. So Google reviews are going to be number 1. Home Advisor is going to be number 2, with maybe Facebook as a number 3. Home Advisor, because Google's looking at it specifically for Google My Business. It's also showing up in the organic search results for my business. And it's also showing up number 1 if people are doing discovery searches for my type of business. Okay, so Home Advisor is pretty important, has lots of visibility, and Google's also paying attention to it. So if you do this for your business, you'll be able to whittle down, the 1 or 2 additional review platforms that you should be concentrating on for your business.
So let's talk about your website in local SEO. If you've done any research online and you've been studying local SEO, you probably already know that there's literally hundreds of things you can do to optimize your website for local SEO. What I'm going to teach you in this section is the most important things that you can do on your website to get the most impact for your local SEO. And if you do these things and ignore everything else, you're going to do fantastic and do more than most of your competitors are going to do. Okay, now before we talk about specific types of content on the website, I just want to go over a couple of key principles for you to be aware of that you can apply to the pages on your site. Number 1 is a title tag. Every page on your website has a title tag, and that is one of the first things Google sees and scans when it looks at a web page, because it tells them right away what that page is all about. So you want to make sure you use a descriptive title tag. The good thing is, depending on your content management system, whether that's WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, or whatever, every time you create a page, it's going to ask you for the title, and that is going to be the title tag for that page. So there's not really anything special you need to do. You just need to know what it is and make sure you add a descriptive title tag for that page. A good formula to use is what you do plus location. So if you're a criminal lawyer in Denver, Colorado, a good title tag would be criminal lawyer in Denver, Colorado. Very descriptive. So if somebody's searching for criminal lawyers and they're located in Denver, Colorado, makes it super easy for Google to understand what that page is about and to serve that page to that user. Okay? Content. Content is the text that you're going to put on the page. Okay? Number 1, it needs to be unique content. Do not plagiarize content from a competitor or from your vendor, because if you copy and paste content, Google knows it right away. They know you're plagiarizing, and what's going to happen is they're either not going to rank that page at all in the search results, or it's going to rank really low. You'll never get on page 1 or at the top of page 1 for that because they know you took that content from somewhere else. So you need to use unique content. And rule of thumb I like to use is about 500 words or better for a page. And when I talk about that, specifically talking about blog content, service, product pages, things like that. A lot of times a home page might be more visual based, so you may not have room to put that much content. But for these pages, rule of thumb, 500 or better. You have to remember when somebody searches in Google, Google wants to serve them the best page, the best answer as they can. So if you only have 50 words or 100 words on that page and there's other pages that are 500 or 600 words, chances are Google's going to show those ones instead because they'll probably feel that it's more comprehensive information than what you have on there. You want to give enough comprehensive information for Google to understand what that page is about and to feel confident in serving that page to the searcher as an answer for their search query. Okay. Next is images. Images on a page not only help break up the text content and makes it visually appealing, it'll help with conversions. It can also help with your local SEO. So if you add relevant pictures to a page, usually when you upload a picture to your content management system like WordPress, they're going to ask you for a couple fields. You're going to have the title of your image and an alt text tag, alternate text tag, which is used for visually impaired people. Okay, so if you add something relevant, so say you're a contractor and on your service page for kitchen renovations, you have 2 pictures of kitchens that you've renovated. If you add the title and the alt tag for those of, you know, a new kitchen in Denver or a new kitchen in Toronto or wherever you're located, that helps to reaffirm to Google that that page is about kitchen renovations. It can also give you the opportunity to rank those images inside Google image search, which could send more traffic to your site. And it also makes it more visually appealing for the user, which can help with conversion rates. Okay, so use images when you can, or even video. Next are forms. Forms, this is just more of a tip on my part, not so much for local SEO. Make it super easy for people to contact you no matter where they are on your website. So every page on your website, think of it as the only page somebody is going to visit. Does it have everything they need to make a decision and to contact you? From experience, I know that the more forms, the more opportunities you give people to contact you, the more times people will contact you. Your conversion rates will just go up just by giving people more opportunities and making it easier for them to contact you. So make sure you have a means, either put the form on the page or at least put a link or a button on there to direct people to your contact page with a call to action. Also, Google Maps. This should be somewhere on your website. A lot of times it'll be the contact us page, or sometimes you put it in the footer of your website. Really depends on how your website is laid out. But embed a Google map on your website somewhere. Okay, this makes it easier for users to understand where you are, and it also makes it super simple for Google to make the connection that you're a local business in a specific area. Okay, so let's get to specific pages. Okay, first off is your home page. Okay, your home page is the strongest page on your website, the most important page on your website for local SEO, so it should be the main search term that you want to show up for. Okay, and usually it's the general category of your business and your city. So say you're a day spa located in Charlotte, North Carolina, your homepage would probably be day spa in Charlotte or day spa in Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay, so anyone searching for day spas and they're in Charlotte, makes it super simple for Google to understand that this website is a day spa and it's in Charlotte. Okay, and that keeps in line with what you do and location. Okay. So pretty straightforward. Whatever your most important term is should probably be your homepage title tag, okay? Next up is service pages, or if you sell products, product pages. And this is where a lot of local businesses get it wrong. Either they set it up themselves or whoever designed their website doesn't really understand SEO or local SEO and how it works, and they just set it up wrong. And the mistake a lot of local businesses make with their site is they set up a single service page. So they'll have a single service page with all of their services listed on that page. And if you understand how Google looks at pages and tries to rank them, you'll understand why that page does not work. Because the rule of thumb should be every page, one topic. Okay, because when Google scans a web page, they want to figure out what it means and how can I categorize it in case somebody searches for it later on. So if you have a service page with 6 different services on there, Google has no idea what to do with that page because it's 6 different types of things you're talking about on that page. So the easy answer is I don't show it for anything. And that's what happens with most local businesses. What you want to do with your service pages and product pages is every single service or product that you have, you want to have a dedicated page for it. And that makes it super easy for Google to understand what that page is about. And if all your competitors all have their services lumped into one page and you have them broken out into specific pages, gives you a much better chance of being able to rank for that specific service or product. Okay? Blog content. A lot of businesses struggle with blog content, typically with trying to come up with ideas for blog topics and actually sit down and write them and things like that. They make it more complicated than it needs to be. Okay? Super simple tip for your blog is sit down with yourself or your team and write a list of your top 20 questions you get from prospective customers. Okay? Once you have that list, those are your top 20, your first 20 blog posts that you're going to write. Because if somebody calls you, if a couple of people call you every month and ask you the same question, there are literally hundreds or sometimes thousands of people searching online for the same exact thing. So create a dedicated blog post to answer that question fully and completely on there. If you do that, you'll turn your blog into a lead magnet for your website. Okay? And all you need to do at that point is just keep a running list. As people ask more questions, you just keep a log on the spreadsheet or you just write them down. And every time you sit down to write a new blog post, just go to your list, pick a question, and answer it. As simple as that, okay? And if you want to try to get ideas, and I'll show you this quickly in the next video, is go to Google, and there's another website called answerthepublic.com, and I'll put the link at the end of this video so you can see it. Great way to just find some general topic ideas. So if you're struggling on ideas or you already did your top 20 blog posts and you're trying to find additional ideas, go into Google or answerthepublic.com are 2 great places to find additional topic ideas, okay? And lastly, if you have multiple locations, most businesses don't, but if you happen to have multiple locations in your city or area, you want to make sure you have an individual page for each one of these locations. Look at these location pages as a little home page for each one of your locations, okay? So time involvement for this, probably about 2 to 4 hours a month. This is probably where you're gonna spend the bulk of your time for local SEO, because creating local content, especially with blog content, service pages, if you don't have them already broken out into individual pages, are probably gonna take a little bit of time. But if you dedicate it 2 to 4 hours a month, maybe set a goal of creating 1 new service page a month or 2, and 1 new blog post or 2 blog posts every month. At the end of the year, you're gonna have anywhere from 12 to 48 pieces of really good targeted local SEO content on your website. And if you continue to do this year in and year out, you can really turn your website into a local SEO powerhouse. So let's jump into the next video. I'm gonna give you a little visual of what this looks like, so you can understand what I'm talking about.
So let's take a look at a website so I can show you visually what I'm talking about when it comes to content and also with title tags. So here's a website, a general contractor website, and the first thing I want to show you is how to find a title tag for a page, okay? So if you're in your browser and you scroll up to the tabs along the top, you'll see the text inside those tabs is actually the title tag of the page. So this homepage here is Home Renovation and Remodeling Contractors, Toronto, your construction company. Okay, so that's what they're trying to rank for, Home Renovation and Remodeling Contractors, Toronto, for anyone that's doing a search for that. Like I said, for most cases, when you create a new page, you add your title, that automatically becomes the title tag. So it's not too hard to create, you want to put in there what you do and your location. And if you have room, you can add your business name as well for branding. Okay. So this is your home page. Like I said, as far as content goes and length of content, I said 500 words, but not necessarily all the time for a home page, because a lot of times a home page might be highly visual. You're going to have a lot of different elements on here, and having too much text might clutter it up a little bit too much. But I'm talking more about service and product pages as well, definitely with blog posts. Okay, so here's a home page. Make sure you have your title tag set for the most important term for your business. Okay, so let's move on to services. Okay, so this is where most small businesses get it wrong. They never get past a page like this. This is a general service page, and it has, you know, all the different services that the business offers. Sometimes you'll have a sentence or two, you know, of additional content for each one. But when they're all jumbled in together like this, Google does not know how to categorize a page like this. Google's always looking for one page, one meaning. So what does this page mean, and how can I categorize it somewhere? So if you have a lot of different things going on a page and they're talking about different things, Google often does not know what to do with a page like this. And most of the time, it just won't rank it for anything. Okay? But in this case, with this site, this is just a launching point, because each one of these services has an actual full page, full service page. And this is what it looks like, okay? So you can see here, we have images, we have content, we have call to actions, a schedule, an estimate that go to their contact form. And you see here, there's a lot of content. This is probably about 500 words. You're probably looking at close to 500 words here. So this is what it looks like. You can lay it out the way you want, but this is an example of how you're going to mix in that much text. You're not just going to have a whole wall of 500 words in a row on there. It's going to look pretty bland. You break it up a little bit, add some visuals, and definitely make sure you add a call to action on here. Every one of these pages, you should be thinking that if somebody is only on this page and no other page, do I have everything on here for somebody to make a decision to contact me? Here you got a phone number, and you also have a button that takes you to a contact form. Okay, so this is an example of what a service page should look like on here. Like I said, the look and layout may be a little bit different, but by and large, this is kind of what it's going to look like. About 500 words, some good optimized images on here, and a call to action to contact you. Okay, moving on to blog posts. We talked about taking your top questions on here, and it's an easy way to get content for your blog. You can see here the difference between design, build, and general contractors. Common question: can I afford to build a custom home? How long does it take to build a custom home? So same thing, all questions and answers, right? These are all questions that people have asked this company before, and they're just writing blog posts about them. Okay, so let's take a look to see what an individual blog post look like. You see here, we got a nice visual at the top. We have a call to action to contact this company, goes to their contact form. And this is about 500 words as well on here. You can see less visuals than the service page, but there's a nice one at the top. One thing that they did here is they broke it up with kind of these subheaders on here. It's a great way to break up a long list of text, and helps people to easily see what each section's about. So it's a good format to follow. Like I said, about 500 words you want to do. And if you can add some visuals, break it up a little bit, and always make sure that you have a good call to action on every page on your website, because you never know when someone's going to feel the need to want to contact you. Okay, so if you want to find some additional ideas, or if you're struggling for content ideas, things like that, just start with Google. Google will give you a couple good ideas to start with. So say you're a home contractor, renovation contractor, do some searches around there. So here we're searching for home renovation contractors. If you scroll down here, you'll see a lot of times you'll see people also ask, and Google's telling you this is what people ask for. How do I find the best contractor? What do home contractors do? What do general contractors charge? How do I protect myself? When that's 4 blog post ideas right here, and Google has specifically told you this is what people are asking us. on here. So great way to find some content. And also if you scroll down, searches related to home contractors, you can get some additional ideas here as well. Okay, and you can click around, play around, and you can easily, 5 minutes worth of work, you can get a whole list of topics that you can write about. Another place I want to show you, and don't worry about writing it down, I'll put it in the course notes so you have the link. Answer the Public is a great place on here. It's a little bit wonky looking at this guy, but it's a fantastic free site. You don't even need to register in order to use it, okay? So I'm going to type in something simple like home renovations and see what happens. So what's going to happen now is Answer the Public's going to go search Google and pull back a ton of ideas for me. So you can see here, I got 58 questions came back to me. If you don't like this visual representation here, just click on the data. And you can see here, I got a ton of question topics just on that home renovation search I did. Okay, can home renovations be deducted? Can home renovations be added to the mortgage? How to finance home renovations? How to DIY your own home renovation. So tons of different ideas on here. Just a simple search like this, you'll get a long list of topics on here. And if you look down here, you get prepositions as well, which can give you some good ideas for additional types of pages on your website, right? Maybe there's people asking for reviews about certain products or services, things like that, and could give you some additional ideas for different pages that you can create for your website in addition to blog content. And like I said, I will put the link to this in the course and section notes on this video, so don't worry about having to write it down.
So let's talk about citations, what they are, how they're used, and how to get them for your business. Now, in terms of local SEO, citations are simply a mention of your business online. If you know anything about regular traditional SEO, you'll know that getting links from other third-party quality websites can help boost your website and your web pages higher in the search results. And citations pretty much serve the same thing when it comes to local SEO. Now, with a citation, you may have a link to your website or you may not. It doesn't really matter. It still serves as a citation as long as they're mentioning your business. So why does the search engines, Google specifically, use citations when it comes to local SEO? Well, the main purpose of local business is to serve the best business for that searcher. Okay, so if you're Joe's Pizza and you have fantastic pizza, everybody loves your pizza in your city, but you're a terrible marketer, you're a terrible link builder, you have a crappy website, that shouldn't matter because people are searching for the best pizza, not the best website. Okay, so Google understands this, which is why they use citations as kind of in place of link building when it comes to local SEO. Okay, because they want to serve the best business they can, regardless of how good of an online marketer you are. Okay, so it acts as a credibility booster for your business when you can get these third-party citations for your business. Now, citations are broken down into structured citations and unstructured citations. A structured citation is simply an orderly format, and most of the time you can add these yourself as the business owner. So think about adding your business to Yelp or to Yellow Pages or places, directories like that, where you sign up, you add your business, and you add your name, address, phone number, and stuff like that. Those are structured citations. Unstructured citations are mentions of your business in a non-structured format. And that could be somebody talks about you in a blog post, or local media writes the 5 best pizzerias in your town and you're named as one of them. Those are examples of unstructured citations. So where do you get these types of citations from? Well, number one, you can get them from review platforms. So you can sign up for places like Yelp, Angie's List, HomeStars if you're in Canada, and you can add your business information, and these serve as a citation for your business. So you want to be on these popular platforms because people do visit these sites and it'll help you get more visibility online. Also, online directories like the Yellow Pages, where you can go and add your business information to them. Those are structured, 2 examples of structured citations. Local media, local blogs. So somebody's going to write a review about your business, or maybe local media or a blogger is going to cover an event that's happening at your business, or they're going to add you in their top 10 list or something like that. These are examples of unstructured citations. Okay, so these ones you can't do yourself, but you can help foster those relationships by identifying who these local media types are, who these bloggers are, forming relationships with them on social media, things like that. So if you do have an event or something is going on with your business, you can reach out to them. Maybe they'll cover you or include them in their top 10 lists or whatever it may be. Okay. Another way to get citations is civic organizations, nonprofits, things like that. So an example would be joining the Better Business Bureau. Not the Better Business Bureau, that is a directory citation you can get, but your local chamber of commerce. So that's a local civic organization you can join, and every chamber of commerce will add all the businesses that are part of their chamber to their website. That's a citation on there. But other types of civic organizations, nonprofits, even doing things like sponsoring, a local soccer team or a local sports team or something like that, or a local group. If they have a website, a lot of times they'll put their sponsors on the website as a thank you. A lot of times you'll get a link back from their site to yours. Those all serve as citations for your business. So there's lots of places to get these things from. I'm going to include a download at the end of this video to give you some of the major ones where you can go get citations, and you can do them yourself by signing your business up for them. And also I'm going to show you in the next video how you can identify some of the specific directories and review sites that are important for your business in your city, and to make sure that you're listed on them.
So let's talk about citations. I want to show you quickly how to find citations that are specifically relevant to your business and your city. Now, there are lots of general citation sources that are pretty much important to everyone, but don't worry about those, because I'm going to include a download in this video section where you can download it, and you'll have a spreadsheet where you can keep track of those. So don't worry about the general ones. I want to show you specifically how you can go and find citation sources that are specific to your business and your city. Okay, so before we start, I just want to show you what a structured citation is, just in case you're unfamiliar with it. So here we're on Yelp, and all this is, we're on this business right here. All a structured citation is this. It's your name, address, phone number, business information laid out in a very specific format. In a place like Yelp, you sign your business up directly and you add all your information directly, and it's all laid out in a very specific format. Same thing with Yellow Pages. Here you got your business name, you have your name, address, phone number, things like that. Same thing, that's a structured citation. It's created in a strict, predictable format, and a lot of times with citation sources like this, the business owner can actually upload, get an account and upload their business information directly to the listing. Okay, so if we want to find additional citation sources specific to our business, I want to show you a very easy way to do that. Okay, so say you're a financial planner. Okay, you're a financial planner in Charlotte, and you want to find some additional citation sources specific for your business and your industry and your location. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a search for our industry. And what we want to do is we want to look at the search results, and we want to see what businesses, what financial planners are showing up on page one. Okay, and you see here there's a lot of general ones, expertise, Yelp, Angie's List, so not a specific business. But if we come down here, we can see one right here. So here's the first one that's showing up for financial advisors in Charlotte. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to click on their website. We're going to go to their website, and what we're going to do is we're going to take their phone number. Okay, and we're going to copy their phone number. And all we're going to do is we're going to do a Google search for their phone number. And the reason we're doing this is out of all the NAP attributes, your name, address, phone number is the most unique out of all of them. Okay, sometimes businesses have the same business names, Joe's Pizza, John's Pizza, things like that. You'll even share the same address sometimes if you're in an office park or you're sharing the same, same building, things like that. But rarely will anyone ever share the same phone number with another business. Okay, so that's a unique identifier for a business, the phone number. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a search, and we're going to look through the first 2 or 3 pages of results, and we're going to look for citation opportunities. And you can see here, number 2 is one right here, Nextdoor, nextdoor.com. Great place to add your business info. You see this business has a listing on here. So nextdoor.com right away is a good one for me. I'd write that down. You have, let's pop back here. Let's see. Free only network that might be more specific to fee only network that's specific to financial planners. That might be a great opportunity if you're a financial planner, very specific to your industry. You can see Yelp showing up, BuzzFile, never heard of it, but you can probably add your business information to it. There's an industry association, National Association of Personal and Financial Advisors. So you're probably on here, but if you're not, then absolutely great opportunity. You can see here, Manta is a great one if you're in the United States to get a free listing on here. So you can see how easy it is. You're going to go through the first 1 or 2 pages of results, make a list of all the citation opportunities. Just take 5 minutes of clicking around to see which ones are good, which ones are not. Super Pages is a good one on here. And all you're going to do is you're going to do the same process for 3 or 4 different financial planners or competitors that are showing up very high in the search results, and see where they're getting their citations from. So once you've done some research, you'll have a nice list of additional citation sources that you can use to help rank your business entity higher in the local search results.
So that wraps up our local SEO course. I hope I presented this information in an easy to understand way and help you to focus on what really matters and what's going to give you the most impact with your time. Okay, we talked about Google My Business, and that's only going to take you about an hour a month to take care of. You're going to respond to reviews, upload new images, and add new posts about your business every month. Your website's where you're going to spend most of your local SEO time, because there's so many opportunities to create different kinds of content for your website. So about 2 to 4 hours a month is a great place to start. And with that, you can set a goal of, say, 1 new blog post and 1 new service or product page that's missing on your site every month. If you do that, at the end of the first year, you're going to have 24 highly targeted local SEO pages for your website. So you can see, if you do that year in and year out, over the course of time, you're going to have a ton of really targeted content to drive a lot of traffic and get your business a lot of visibility using your website. We talked about reviews. Reviews are super important. So the main thing with reviews is to make sure you set up a system where you can get reviews on a consistent basis, whatever that ends up looking like. Okay, so that should only take you 1 to 2 hours a month to call people, email people, follow up, things like that. So whatever system you use that's going to work for you is the one you should go with. Citations. Once you get through the initial setup and identify where you need to be add your business, after that, about an hour a month, you may look at some new competitors and see if they're listed anywhere where you're not. Look for new opportunities popping up, or do some outreach to local media, local blogs or civic groups, things like that, and look for opportunities where you can connect with them and maybe get a mention for your business on their website. Okay, so all told, you're looking at 5 to 8 hours a month, basically less than 10 hours a month, to do something that can have a tremendous impact on your business. You probably spend more time than this on a single day at a meetup group or something like that. But I will tell you, if you do this month after month, year over year, your local SEO is going to have a major impact on the growth of your business. So I hope you liked the course. If you have any questions, just make sure you leave them in the course comments and I'll be sure to answer them. And other than that, good luck with your local SEO. Take care.